reason for which they have all these inventories for decades. For example, in the 19th century I had produced that they would make the Civil War made undersheds made for the American Civil War were issued until the 1880s. Even later on, sometimes. Now, I will. So these are a little bit different. So these look grey upon the photograph. They are actually completely army green. These are beige. They're absolutely superb. One little more. I will explain the problem with this thing that, like the 1914 one, these have plenty of them upon eBay. And some of them I will later be sure why not purchase them, or why not. The problem with these is most of the stocks are the army ones. And the army ones not only are thicker, even if they have family, they are thicker, more cambric like linen and or cotton mix, whatever. And to sell them a cost to make them like so, with a seam here. That seam here goes right, especially when one does not wear it with a long, brief and shed and or undershed like thought in the bag then. It goes right, address right, which means you put your entire testicles and penis to the right. Because to me the left is more forward where the heart is. Henceforth, it should not the shape appear here. So, in between here, it did cut me. And on one occasion it even cut the skin of the, testicles and my... And thank heavens I'm not circumcised, because once actually I yelled in pain, I can electric shock it, cut my foreskin off my penis. Which meant that for a week, the time it healed, every time I peed, it bent. And it cut in between my butt cheeks. It was very painful, really. It was a nightmare where essentially, and I also wore them with the same shirt I'm wearing at the beginning of the Soviet Army undershirt playlist. See how long it was, and still somehow it did cut me. I don't know how. And this sort is complaining about these undershirts. Hopefully it will not do that with this. And the other problem is because unlike these, because these are late 19th century, early 20th century, the drawers, like 1914, which actually may be older, probably not in 1914, it may have been older issue. Older made, even if it was issued in 1914. There's no stamps in 1914. Because in those days, they were meant, even often civilian ones, the civilian ones are harder to find. And civilian ones may be made of a lighter material that may less cut, even though it has that seam. That seam, they were meant to wear them. I explained it on Instagram as this was where the undergarment, the thing touching the graving area, the shed and or undershed. So they were not bothered with having to open up this thing. Just do it like the fly. It was calculated that when pulled out, when high, it would split, hence why there would be no buttons upon the fly. Because it was meant to split open. They're off completely ruining the point for mine, because I'm wearing them because I have shorter shirts that I even rolled up, because I only started them in a month in order for them not to touch the graving area. So it would mean that my penis would dangle up, touch the trousers. These are the two issues. Pain and why I explained it. So hopefully it will not do that. This is actually too large. This one has blaze tips, suggesting it is older. Or at least men who run with a uniform using blazes. See? Very functioning blazes, and a uniform using blazes with two tabs, because some uniforms, especially military, have with one tab. This one does not have blaze tabs, but otherwise they are made exactly the same with the pleats. They're very short, because also that is the thing, this is to be men wearing up to 50 degrees in Dubai. In the 19th century, these did not really exist, as short as that. The shortest would be usually about here to there, the late 19th century, usually there and they were meant to the balloon pollution effect. Essentially, some people then were wearing combinations that were shorter. Probably some people would cut them off or make them at home, but these were very rare. And a lot of people would simply have this habit of wearing a shirt and or perhaps an undershirt too, use briefs during the very hot parts of summer, so it was 30 degrees or whatever. With these more hygienic views gaining more importance as time progressed, and as mass production became bigger, especially in Northeast America. By 1905-ish, they began to have more boxery-like under-trousers made for civilians. There was one facility that got so BVD, it was extremely expensive, and the material may have lasted just a month because it would be made of very soft, shirting, luxurious, but actually completely mass-produced already to in the postmodern then era material, the cloth. That would not last long. The idea was, well, still be more hygienic than wearing your same shirt. You would be more prone to washing it, and especially it may not, flap all over the place as it is being tucked in, and perhaps you have not washed one's bottom properly, and then the excrements then touch the trousers, or likewise your trousers are dirty and touch your sensible parts. But they were made of thin material, and like boxes, they do not cinch in with ties or simply buttons or even a closer like that goes over like this button thing I explained. And I like to handle it as a mid-10s, probably for trendy people and perhaps for avant-garde people who had some as short as that. But since these are military, and even by the touching of the material, which is kind of plastified, as I had explained, upon the same sort of material than this Swedish Army placket, even more modern on that one. This one looks way more oldish, less plasticky, which makes me think it maybe just older, but see, it is made exactly the same. So they're probably from the same military and have the same tool plates, which also make it look modern. So not only is it cut large, ample, but it is also cut very short for back then. Remember, these are very high-waisted. So the BLVD one I was talking about, the mid-1900s, perhaps early 1900s, were usually still very long, about to here. As long as the much older type under trousers that were meant to kind of close here. And also often they would also meant to would go up and there, but sometimes not, and have like whatever. But they were just open, because also that was the era, especially in the United States of America, when again clothes were massively huge until about early mid-10s. That was the trend. So very large trousers, but cut straight. So they would fit below that. Especially the summer spring ones may probably be even larger. And on top of that being thick in a cloth, it would be less of a problem having a non-cinched in under trouser below. It would less likely ride up and all than the earlier fashions that, even if by today's standards the clothes were large, they were not that large. The trousers and how the coat fitted. I mean the cut, not the fit, the cut. So see, it was very stupid. It has this, what looks like genuine mother of pearl there, or plastic and mixed buttons, to apparently tighten it, but it does not tighten anything because it only has one law. Perhaps it gives the option if one is very fat to just undo it, or one was meant, at least it gave the option for one to sew all the buttons, which I may probably do, or have the Sabitri do it. So the other one is made exactly the same. I made two buttons on the placket, on the yoke in the front, and then no buttons upon the fly. But notice that the fly is still meant to cover the groin area, which suggests they were meant later on. Also, I also noted that later on the stem was not to lose anything very. It says a big 3 there. These are military sizes, or sizes of back then. And then there's another stem that's fading off. The other one has the stems in the same place.